Okay, real quick before the video starts, I recorded some gameplay to go along with this review, and it turned out to be a little bit choppy. So I cut out some of the parts that were skipping. I had to leave a couple of the parts in there because that's the parts where I score a touchdown. So I just wanted to make that announcement and to let you know that I will try to work on that in the future and keep that from happening. So with that being said, I hope you enjoy this review. Alright, so the Los Angeles Rams defeat the San Francisco 49ers 20-17. My Super Bowl pick that I picked earlier in the season to make it is going to the Super Bowl, and they will be the second team in NFL history to compete in their home stadium. So this was a game where I thought it could go either way. I thought that it would be a close game or it would be a blowout. Either way, I had the Rams winning, and I felt the same way about the Chiefs and the Bengals, but I'll get into that in my next video. But this was definitely a grinded out type of game. Let's talk about Los Angeles. So coming out, Matthew Stafford was getting rid of the football really quick. I'm sure Sean McVay and that coaching staff looked at that San Francisco 49ers defense and said to themselves, well, we can't really have a whole lot of long developing plays because this defense has been playing really well this postseason and for a while now. I thought that both quarterbacks had some jitters in the beginning of the game. It was a 3rd and down and Matthew Stafford throws it a little bit behind. There was also a play on the 49ers where Jimmy Garoppolo tried to get it to George Kittle and he overthrows him. In the beginning of the game, I thought both teams were kind of being a bit conservative. The Rams tried to dominate at the line of scrimmage like they usually do. They didn't have a whole lot of success on the ground. They ran the ball a total of 29 times, only had 70 yards rushing total. But as the game went along, the Los Angeles Rams started to open up their playbook a little bit more. Felt like the Matthew Stafford and Odell Beckham show. I thought those two were really on the same pace throughout the entire game. A lot of their big gains through the air from Odell Beckham. And I was wondering, why is San Francisco playing off of their receivers so much? Los Angeles was able to find holes in the zone. Both teams didn't really try to play man to man. They ran a lot of zone. Los Angeles was finding holes in San Francisco's zone coverage. In the second quarter, let's go to one of LA's drives. Los Angeles has the ball at their 48, 1st and 10. Matthew Stafford has Cooper Kupp in the middle of the field. He drops it, and if he catches this, he's possibly running towards the end zone. A couple plays later, Matthew Stafford tries to hit Ben Skowronek, and San Francisco's DBs completely lose track of the football and it lets him go free, but he dropped the pass. So, and in a game like this where yes, both offenses were moving the ball, it still felt like those opportunities could have really hurt the Rams. Fortunately, it didn't. There was another sequence of events offensively for the Rams that went pretty bad. It's 3rd and 3. The Rams are in their red zone. Matthew Stafford tries to get it to Cooper Kupp. He throws a little bit behind him, and K'Wan Williams tips the ball in the air, and Jimmy Ward picks it off. Another opportunity for the Rams to get some points on the board, but thankfully for LA, their defense played well and was able to get San Francisco off the field after that turnover. So yeah, if the Rams had lost this game, you could have definitely had a look back at those sequences of events, and those definitely would have played a huge factor in their loss. Matthew Stafford, 31 for 45, 337 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 INT. He was sacked 2 times. I thought he played well, although he should have had 2 interceptions, and I'll get into that in a little bit. Cam Akers, 13 attempts, 48 yards rushing. He was targeted 1 time for 2 yards. Sonny Michel, 10 attempts, 16 yards. He was targeted 2 times, 1 reception. Odell Beckham, as I mentioned earlier, it was the Matthew Stafford and the Odell Beckham show. 11 targets, 9 receptions, 113 yards. Kendall Blanton, 5 targets, 5 receptions, 57 yards. Tyler Higbee, he had a quiet day, 3 targets, 2 receptions, 18 yards. Van Jefferson, 5 targets, 2 receptions, 9 yards. Oh, Cooper Kupp, 14 targets, 11 receptions, 142 yards, 2 touchdowns. So yeah, also Cooper Kupp as well. Duh. Why did I forget to mention him? It just felt like through Stafford and Odell Beckham, it seemed like they were the ones having more success through the air and in the passing game. But yes, Cooper Kupp also had a big night as well. Defensively for the Rams, Trayvon Howard, 1 INT. He had a pass deflection, 2 combined tackles, 1 solo tackle, 1 assist tackle, 1 tackle for loss. Eric Weddle, 9 combined tackles, 4 solo tackles, 5 assist tackles, 1 tackle for loss. He had a big tackle where the 49ers were trying to run it up the middle for a first down, and they were at the 50-yard line. Troy Reader, 1 pass deflection, 8 combined tackles, 6 solo tackles, 2 assist tackles. Ashawn Robinson, 6 combined tackles, 3 solo tackles, 3 assist tackles. Nick Scott, 6 combined tackles, 5 solo tackles, 1 assist tackles. Darius Williams, 1 pass deflection, 4 combined tackles, 2 solo tackles, 2 assist tackles. Aaron Donald, 3 combined tackles, 3 assist tackles, 2 hits on the QB. Von Miller, 2 combined tackles, 1 solo tackle, 1 assist tackle, 1 tackle for loss, and 1 hit on the QB. The numbers don't really pop out at you, but stats don't really tell the whole story. This defense played well. As far as San Francisco, they tried to establish their dominance at the line of scrimmage as well. 20 rushing attempts, 50 yards total. They didn't have much success on the ground as well. I thought Kyle Shanahan finally let Jimmy throw the ball a little bit more. Some people might say Kyle Shanahan has been running the ball a lot lately during this postseason because he doesn't trust Jimmy. I wouldn't necessarily argue with that. The 49ers did throw the ball a lot more in this game, like LA. They were finding holes in Los Angeles' zone coverage as well. Jimmy Garoppolo, 16 for 232 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 INT. He looked better. He had a much better showing, but I think it may be time to start thinking about moving on from Jimmy Garoppolo. I just don't think he is a true potent and dynamic quarterback. It feels like when his first read isn't there and if the wide receiver isn't open, he struggles. I think he panics and will tend to hold on to the ball a bit too long, or even if he does try to complete a tight throw, it's usually inaccurate. Well, I would say it's 50-50. You're not 100% confident that he'll be able to make that throw. Even though I thought he played better in this game, throughout this entire postseason run, he has not looked all that great. He really hasn't. And then the play at the end of the game where he's getting pressure in his face, and that's another area where I think he struggles, is still trying to deliver accurate throws while being under pressure. He's getting pressured by the Rams and he tries to get the ball out of his hands to avoid a sack. I think he should have just tried to throw the ball at the receiver's feet, and if he had done that, it wouldn't have been a turnover. Deebo Samuel, 7 rushing attempts, 26 rushing yards. He was targeted 7 times for 7 receptions, 72 yards total, 1 touchdown. I want him to be the MVP. I think he should be the MVP. Okay, that's my MVP pick. I think he has had a phenomenal year, and not only being effective in the running game, but also in the passing game as well. And when you have a dual threat like that, that's always amazing. Elijah Mitchell, 11 for 20. He was targeted 3 times, 3 receptions, 50 yards in the passing game. Solid day for him as well. Brandon Ayuk, targeted 8 times, 4 receptions, 69 yards. George Kittle, 5 targets, 2 receptions, 27 yards, but he had 1 touchdown. Everyone else pretty much had a quiet day. Defensively for the 49ers, another solid performance, but they had 1 serious blunder or blip, whatever you want to say. So Matthew Stafford tries to go deep in the middle of the field to Von Jefferson, and Jaquiski Tart, it hits him right in the hands, right in the chest. He was basically the receiver on this play, and I don't know what Matt was looking at. He's got to stop throwing these deep middle throws because they're always bad decisions. The receiver, usually being Von Jefferson, is usually double covered, but in this case, he dodged a huge bullet. The Rams dodged a huge bullet. Jaquiski Tart, I hope that I'm saying his name right, drops a gimme of an interception. It was a gift from the gods. And if he catches this, San Francisco probably wins this game because they still had a 3-point lead at the time. Missed opportunities like that in games like this are so huge, and you have to cash in on those. But Jimmy Ward, 1 INT. He returned it for 23 yards. He had a pass deflection. 8 combined tackles, 4 solo tackles, 4 assist tackles. Nick Bosa had 1.5 sack. 6 combined tackles, 4 solo tackles, 2 assists, 2 tackles for loss, and 2 hits on the QB. Samson Ibukam had a half sack as well. 3 combined tackles, 1 solo tackle, 2 assists, and 2 hits on the QB. Avery Thomas, 13 combined tackles, 10 solo tackles, 3 assist tackles. Fred Warner, 1 pass deflection, 10 combined tackles, 7 solo tackles, 3 assist tackles, 2 assist tackles. Emmanuel Mosley, 6 combined tackles, 6 solo tackles. Jaquiski Tart, he actually had a couple other mistakes. He had a penalty when he collided with Odell Beckham head to head. And then there was that blunder, that mishap where he let one of the Rams receiver go completely free. There was a miscommunication in coverage, but thankfully he dropped a sure touchdown. But outside of that, I thought he was still solid, solid. Even though he had the drop pick, I thought he still played well in coverage. 6 combined tackles, 3 solo tackles, 3 assist tackles. Now we move on to the Super Bowl, the Bengals and the Rams, and I'm going to go ahead and do the preview right now. If the Bengals are going to increase their chances of winning, they're going to have to protect Joe Burrow. I don't see Burrow escaping from the likes of Aaron Donald and Von Miller, that front four. Even though they didn't play as bad as I thought they would against the Chiefs, still, the Chiefs were able to get some pressure onto Burrow. Now, the Rams has a much better pass rush than the Kansas City Chiefs do. I would expect the Rams to dial up some pressures during the Super Bowl in certain situations. As far as the Rams are concerned, just keep doing what they've been doing, trying to establish a running game, get your wide receivers, spread out your wide receivers, continue to find holes in the zone. I don't think that the Cincinnati Bengals will try to play man-to-man, although I would say that defensively, Cincinnati will have to try to take some chances of playing man-to-man against LA's wide receivers. Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow are going to have to be on the same page. I know they lost their tight end, Uzma, so hopefully he'll be able to return. If he's not able to go, that's going to be a huge loss. Expect Cincinnati to try to run the ball a lot more as well. I would try to utilize quick throws, screen passes, wide receiver screens. Try to get my receivers into the open field. Have my backs come out of the backfield, throw it to them. Try to keep the Los Angeles defense guessing and on their heels. And then I think if they play the short game, the long ball will open up a lot more for Cincinnati. But with that being said, I still have the Rams. I still think they're going to win. I think their first championship ever in LA. It should be an exciting Super Bowl to watch. I can't wait to see it. I do think that it will come down to a last-minute kick or a last-second kick. I got the Rams. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Tell me what you thought about the game. Tell me what you think is going to happen in the Super Bowl. Subscribe, and that is it. I am out.